Hello, class. This is a continuation of our discussion on the system of the United States. So let me review a little bit. Remember, we have 50 states. We have one district, District of Columbia. We have one Commonwealth, and that's where I'm picking up now. The one Commonwealth we have in our system is the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. And even though four other states, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Massachusetts, and Kentucky, refer to themselves as commonwealths, it's sort of like a nickname. They're not commonwealths, they're states. The only commonwealth we have is Puerto Rico. And the term commonwealth means any self-governing community that is not a state in our system, and that refers to Puerto Rico, which is an advanced form of a U.S. territory. We have other U.S. territories, which I'll talk about at the tail end of this short video. So, on to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico we obtained as a territory after the Spanish-American War in 1898. Spain lost that war to us, and back in those days, you had the spoils of war, as they were known, and we received, for winning the war, it was a Spanish colony, Puerto Rico in the Caribbean, and we also received the Spanish colony of Guam in the Pacific, which today is still presently one of our territories that I'll discuss momentarily. So, Puerto Rico started out as just a territory, then it was given Commonwealth status. Every person born in Puerto Rico is a U.S. citizen. And they have citizenship, and there's a lot of confusion about this, of what Puerto Ricans are, how they fit in our system, and so forth. Everyone born there is a U.S. citizen. And so, Puerto Rican people, if they want to at any point, can move to the United States. And there's confusion over this because some people have the misconception that Puerto Ricans are immigrants. No, they're not. They're what's known as emigrants. And that means moving around in your own nation. So, for example, I'm an immigrant. I grew up and was born and raised in the state of Michigan. I moved to the state of New York in 1990, and I've been a New Yorker ever since. So, first and foremost, I'm a U.S. citizen, just like all Puerto Ricans. Secondly, I'm a resident of the state of New York. So, if a Puerto Rican wanted to move to the state of New York, they can do so anytime they want. They don't have to ask permission, file paperwork, and they can become residents of the state of New York instead of residents of Puerto Rico. Same goes for all of us. If we decided we wanted to move to Puerto Rico, we could move there anytime we want. We don't fill out any paperwork besides establishing residency and so forth. And instead of being a U.S. citizen that's a resident of the state of New York, you become a U.S. citizen that's a resident of the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. So, first and foremost, one thing I want to emphasize, Puerto Ricans are not immigrants. So, Puerto Rico is unique, though, in this Commonwealth status. They enjoy all the benefits that U.S. citizens do, like all citizens. They pay into Social Security and into Medicare, and when they turn 65 or whatever the age is presently, they are covered by Medicare and collect their Social Security. They can join the United States military. They can receive Pell Grants and student loans just like any other American student. But the one big difference is Puerto Ricans do not pay any federal income tax. And the reason why they don't It would be a classic case of why we fought the Revolutionary War. It would be taxation without representation. They do not have any members in the House or Senate, unlike the 50 states. So we're represented when taxes are passed that we have to pay. Puerto Ricans would not be. So it would smack against the constitutional premises of our country. They do pay taxes to the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, which is the government that they live under and that they fund it. So, big difference is if you live in Puerto Rico, and that goes for anybody here, if you move from New York to Puerto Rico, establish residency there, you don't pay federal taxes anymore. You only pay Commonwealth of Puerto Rico taxes. So, that's the big underlying difference. Now, from time to time, there's been movements in Puerto Rico where some people that live there want to become the 51st state, but they've held referendums, and typically those are defeated because Puerto Rican people figure out it's a losing proposition. They become the 51st state, they immediately will all have to start paying federal income taxes. And it'd be a losing proposition to them because they'd still have to pay, instead of Commonwealth of Puerto Rico taxes, the state of Puerto Rico taxes. Now, also another reason why in the near future Puerto Rico will not become a state, I explained to you the constitutional statehood process. If they applied to be a state, it has to be approved by Congress. They have a population of around 4 million people. If they were to become the 51st state, they'd have at least 6 members in the House of Representatives and 2 U.S. senators, like every state has. And polling indicates that all 6 members of the House and their 2 senators would be Democrats. There's absolutely no way the Republican-controlled Senate and Republican-controlled White House would ever pass a bill making them the 51st state if it increased the Democratic numbers by that amount. It's purely political. Will it happen sometime off in the future? Who knows? But that's the status of our only Commonwealth, Puerto Rico. So we have 50 states, 1 district, District of Columbia, 1 Commonwealth, Puerto Rico, and then we have 12 territories, including one I already mentioned, Guam, the U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa, and there's, a few others. Territories are part of the United States. Either people born there have U.S. citizenship or U.S. nationals and have to go through some process to gain full citizenship, but they're governed by the United States. So that's our system. And I'm going to call it quits for now. I got another short, brief lecture on federalism in Chapter 2 I'm going to record shortly. And so I'll be posting these. And I want to emphasize once again, get in there, get into the discussions, and start talking about these topics. So, everyone take care, be safe. I'll see you sometime next week.